welcome to a very special episode of Always Open. On today's show, we're going to be taking questions from the community about Rooster Teeth's 15-year anniversary, as well as asking a question about what we thought our life would be like at the age of 15. And of course, our trusty little box of issue, or as we call it, boy.
Boy.
I'm your host, Barbara Dunkelman, and with me today I have...
Oh, Matt Hullum, that's me.
Literally covered the
She
5%.
said ahead of time, like, the only thing you have to do is introduce yourself when the show starts. And I just did not do that at all.
That's okay.
My name's Matt. I work here for now.
Yeah.
We'll see what
We'll see
happens
after
if I
this.
make it through this show.
I think you have a future. I'm pretty sure. Hey, I'm Burnie. I'm Matt's assistant.
And it's me. I'm Mariel. I'm here to celebrate Rooster Teeth's quinceañera.
Yeah, quinceañera.
Quinceañera, hey, yeah.
Quinceañera.
Hey.
15 whole
Cheers,
years.
15.
15 is weird though because
Meryl,
I don't think there's
sorry.
anything creepier than the dude online who knows the different states and their age of consent and like has that like in his Rolodex in his head, and
That
it's
being
like
said, what
that
Canada's-
comes up. That comes up when we hit to like 15, 14, now going into 16. It's like I just don't want to know that like that stuff.
Now Rooster Teeth's old enough to fuck?
In Canada, apparently,
I think it's 14 in Canada.
Is it really?
We've been old enough for a year.
Wow.
because you have hard winters and you could die. So you got to start having families early. That's what it is.
It's true.
That's what all that stuff is based on, I'm sure.
It's kind of like a rite of passage. Everyone just loses their virginity at 14 in Canada. You get paired with like your
Like
fellow
an
Eskimo
event.
brothers. Well, welcome, guys. Very happy to have you on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. This is my
Glad to be
second
here.
time being on the show.
Second time, Matt's
Yeah.
first time.
I was
First time.
always open virgin
Oh.
before this.
Now you're going to be
longer.
closed forever.
That's right. Matt, Barbara was talking to Matt about just the way the show works and, make sure he's on board with it. I'm like, Matt can just cancel any show that if he appears
Yeah.
on it and if he doesn't like the way it went, it's like, yeah, don't air that episode because that show's over.
And then it would not be our fault. It would
Yeah.
just not be here.
No?
And you'd be to blame.
I said when we started, let's not have any talk of Eskimo fucking.
Well,
And we've already messed that up.
It's been a good 15 years.
Then why are we even here, Matt? What's the point?
I know.
I mean, we can't talk
So-
about that.
What can we talk about?
I don't know.
Well, we're very, very excited to have you guys on because we're going to be talking about all about Rooster Teeth's 15 years. This episode comes out on Monday, which is the day after our anniversary. So happy belated anniversary.
Happy to you as well.
Happy anniversary, happy quinceañera.
Me-
I
Meryl,
feel
happy
bad. I
all
feel like this is a tamer version of Always Open. I've been stockpiling my jerk off and period stories up until my second appearance, and now
I'm just gonna
we're
add
talk
in
all
the-
about the company.
I'm just going to
All right.
add in
Still
the word
talk about
butthole as
it.
much as possible.
we could still do it.
I've got some awesome period stories.
Just tell us all the names that you wanted to call Rooster Teeth before you decided on Rooster Teeth. I'm sure we'll get them.
Eskimo fucking was the first one.
We actually had a company before.
We did.
Rooster Teeth.
Yeah,
Called
I
us
did.
motherfuckers?
Called Eskimo Fuckers.
that's right.
It lasted 14 years, and I got fucked by an Eskimo. No, we had a production company in college, but it had just a terrible name.
Right.
So we were bad at names for a while.
Yeah.
Like Red versus
Some
Blue,
say-
I think
some
is the
say
one
still.
good name. Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah. I feel like every time we name like a new unscripted show, especially it seems like Heroes and Halfwits and things like that. I know Achievement Hunters, we went through like a billion different names.
Achievement Hunters?
Yeah.
That's such
Are we
an
sticking
obvious
with that name?
yeah.
we're
See,
sticking
this is it, right? Yeah. I
We're
guess
sticking with
we are.
that one?
I like the suggestion of Boo Boys.
Boo Boys.
That was my favorite.
There was,
because if
there
it's-
was actually a web series that a fan sent to me, and it had a great name. And I said, Jeff, just buy the name from him or
was
see if
it?
he'll give it. Poltergeist. And I think it's a great name.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I guess
Or-
both those names kind of make it male only, though. So kind of.
It's guys, though. I always say
Why
guys.
have there been only pun names for this show? I
Listen,
mean,
Matt, I can't
I don't-
explain why they're so popular. But they just are.
but every
Read the
single
room, Matt.
every single name has been a pun. Can we just have one that's just like the Ghost Show or something? It doesn't have to be, right?
Ghosts and
I mean,
ghouls.
what's happening
I
in
have,
this show?
I have a feeling you're not going to actually find any ghosts. No. It's just going to be these dopes in dark rooms screaming at the top of their lungs. I think that's the way it's
Jeff
going to work.
and Ghosts and Friends.
Well, you should go with Jeff's name, which I loved, which was, "Are you there, Ghost? It's me, Jeff," which I thought was a great
Genius.
Yeah.
Dopes in dark rooms is also, I like that.
Dopes and Dark Room. That's a good
That's what
one.
he just said. There's just a bunch of dopes
Oh.
in dark rooms.
My name for Heroes and Halfwits was Orange is the New Chaotic Evil. That was my name for it at the time. And Jeff wanted to use it, but they went with Heroes and Halfwits. So.
Well, I like.
It does
the
roll
name
off the
Always
tongue.
Open. Our name is not really a pun. It's more a play on words.
What's the difference?
What isn't that not what a pun is?
I think a pun is a shitty
well, I
thing.
don't know.
I think that's what qualifies.
It has like multiple meanings.
Well, if it doesn't make you groan at the end, it's not a pun. I know that much.
There you go.
Right?
Although our show does make people groan at the end of it.
Or in the middle.
Doing it.
All right, well, let's do our shot, my boys and girls. This is the three-legged monkey, and Texas actually submitted this one for
What?
us. It's got whiskey, amaretto, and pineapple. And I
I
don't
don't think
know
I've ever
why-
had whiskey and pineapple.
Well, it's a first
Cheers.
version.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Once again, another cheers.
Happy 15th.
So I want you to know I'm breaking my not drinking on camera thing for you.
I appreciate it.
I'm so thankful.
And for Texas, that was lovely. Thank you very much.
Delicious.
We have to get people warmed up.
Are you not a shot taker?
More of a
it-
shot caller.
I was gonna make that joke.
Yeah.
He's a baller, shot caller.
There you go.
So this is actually something
20-inch
that,
blade.
having known Matt for like 20 years, this is something that really bugs the shit out of me, is that he's a way better drunk than I am. Like people, when Matt gets drunk, people get super excited. At like parties and like business events and things
People
like that.
just like Matt.
If Matt, well, no, but they like drunk Matt a little bit better.
That's true.
I mean, Matt's
It
a
is,
Peter,
it is
drunk
really
Matt's a
unfortunate because you like at some point you feel like it's your alter ego that's like way more popular.
Peter. Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, Matt showed up to the party, but he's sober. Oh, God.
Guys,
That's
put
no
some
fun.
more whiskey in there.
It's just like if
another
they were
round.
holding a
It's
party
30
for
minutes later.
Superman and Clark Kent comes by, everybody's like, Clark, no. Nobody wants you here. You know? We want the guy in the cape. You know, down this bottle of Makers as fast as possible.
For
Get
what
this guy
it's
a phone
worth,
booth.
I like both versions of you.
Oh, thank you.
Also, my raise is coming up.
But there you go. Yeah,
Review.
a little flattery will get
Smart
you
lady.
over.
Exactly. All right, well, let's do a little icebreaker. This game we like to play is called Cupidity, and we've basically gone on OkCupid and collected a bunch of the questions that they ask people when they are creating their profile.
Have you guys talked about the OkCupid billboards around town? Has that been covered on the show?
DTF ones?
We haven't, but I've seen them, and I've been
I'm
very concerned for them.
Fascinated by these billboards.
I like them.
Anna brought them up to me, and she was like, "It says down to fuck everywhere in Austin, like everywhere you look." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like these OkCupid billboards, and they're like a play on DTF.
Yeah.
And it's like DT, like, and then some phrase like,
Find each other's phones.
yeah,
It's like something
exactly,
random.
yeah, that starts with
Feed
an F.
each other cake or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the way that they're designed, you sometimes can't see the rest of the word, and so it just looks like it's just a big down to fuck everywhere you go.
Yeah, but by
Which
design
is-
probably.
By design, probably, but it's like it's very odd.
Are they just basically insinuating that OkCupid is a place to go to find people to fuck?
I think so.
Probably losing a lot of business to Tinder for having that
Yeah.
reputation. I mean, that's why a lot of people get on dating apps, right?
True.
Yeah. Well, didn't they
Can't
say
confirm.
that Austin, it's like the worst place to be dating right now?
Austin is.
Can also
Yeah.
confirm that.
What's your sugar baby?
That too. But yeah, no,
Sugar baby capital world?
they came out and said that like if you're actually trying to find a relationship, it's like a horrible place to date.
I read that. Like and there was all this stuff that I didn't understand about dating lingo. Like one of the things was called breadcrumbing, and breadcrumbing
Breadcrumbing.
is huge in Austin. It's where someone basically ghosts you, and then they come back every now and then just to kind of lead you on, and they have no plans of having a relationship for you. And
Or see you?
it's a big problem in Austin.
Is it
Breadcrumbing.
just someone who like wants to inflate their own ego?
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah,
I know people
I
like
never heard that term before in my life,
Well,
but we rank high in it.
none of these questions are about bread.
Okay, great.
All right.
We did not pick any of those.
What do we got?
So Matt, you're gonna go first.
Oh no.
And we kind of do these rapid fire.
Ugh.
And we'll just get through as many as we can.
Okay, let's do it.
So he's only responding to this.
Yes.
Got it.
You can you pull an Elise and just
Yeah.
start yelling the answers.
Elise didn't know that rule, and she just started yelling all the answers when I was going, and I'm just like,
It was during our
way to go too.
during live week, and I'm asking Barbara the questions, and it's like I think it was like, are
Are
you
you-
a top or are you a
Are
bottom?
you a top or bottom?
And
She
Elise
goes,
is just like,
I'm a top, baby. I was like,
We're like, I'm not talking to you.
I love her. All right, we ready with our timer? All right.
Okay.
You ready, Matt?
As I know.
And go. Do you feel a need to own the most up-to-date electronic gadgets?
Not at all.
When you're around new people, are you more of a leader or are you more of cooperative?
I don't like people.
Can you think of someone
Pretty
that you truly hate, not just severely dislike?
At this table or?
On OkCupid.
In general? Have you ever quit a job without giving at least a week's notice?
See ya.
There you go.
You're only.
I'm
I'm not gonna be on top of these answers.
Was that the last one, really?
We have a few more.
Oh.
This guy.
On a daily basis, do you spend a lot of time trying to make yourself look good?
What part of the day would that be exactly?
Do I?
Great.
No.
How long's your morning routine?
It just
Matt?
comes. Wait. It just comes naturally.
All right, if you guys don't add a little star with a ding right there, I'm gonna be very upset.
Where's Peter Hayes when you need him?
I know.
How long is your morning routine though? Like, how long before work do you have to wake up to get to work?
Oh, you know, I mean, I try to get wet with the shower water.
I have the
And
same
then-
morning routine as you, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully that dries off at some point while I'm driving to work. So, I mean, that's it. Like, how much time is that?
No.
Like from bed to
imagining-
car is like 2.5 minutes?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
for
I'm
sure.
I'm imagining you like a dog out of a car window, like
Pretty
drying
much.
off on your way to work.
Pretty much. I do take my kids to school every morning, and you know we get up in time to, you know, do breakfast and all that stuff, and you know we're good parents. Don't call anyone, and but you know you go to school, and I've never thought to like just comb my hair or anything, and I know I looked like just like a random hobo like half the time I show up at school, and I know they must think like, who is this guy with these kids like.
They're not like,
Who-
poor Webb, poor Mills.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're just this guy's a problem.
You going in with them? Why don't you just open the door and push? Like, you know, that's what I do.
Or just keep driving.
Throw a
Well,
candy
it
bar
it,
out.
it embarrasses them more if I go in.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
I
yeah.
try to make sure that they get as big a dose of embarrassment as possible. Because how else are you gonna grow? You know, as a person, right? That's what parents are for.
Yeah.
Can't
Right?
confirm. Yeah, my parents embarrass me every day of my life. They still do. And look
Yeah.
how great of a person I am.
Intentionally
right.
embarrass you?
your
parents are awesome.
Your parents were really going for it.
I don't think they realize that they're embarrassing me. Yeah, they followed me all the way to Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, I guarantee you they're watching this as we speak.
Where do you think the scales are now on you embarrassing them and them
Yeah.
embarrassing you at this
I
point?
feel like your dad could put like some embarrassing Easter eggs about you in the RTX app.
Yeah,
or
Barbie, you should
something.
not underestimate yourself. You're a huge embarrassment.
All on your own.
You really are.
It's you know.
Really happy to have you on my show today, Burnie.
It's been great. It's been great. Do you guys watch? You've seen any of the new Queer Eye?
I've seen none of it.
I didn't know.
I remember the
there's a
first
new
one.
Queer Eye?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Queer Eye.
different
On
cast.
Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Netflix. So Netflix is just where every show goes to come back. Is that right?
It used to be where TV would go to die when they needed one last season of it.
It's
Yeah.
so great.
Now they're like digging deep into the catalog to get some old stuff.
But
like
you were asking about
Yeah.
his like routine, and they're always talking about that you should take like a few minutes to yourself every morning and just.
Even if it's just for some beard oil or
Beard
some
oil.
moisturizer.
Beard oil that exists.
Yeah. Right?
Awesome.
I don't know.
yeah,
They
no,
use
I have
that
some.
word a lot.
I have beard oil.
And look how great your beard looks.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. See,
It's
this
gonna
is-
go. It's got to go soon though. It's going gray so much faster than the rest of my hair.
You guys look good with your gray beards, though.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just like.
That's our next production company.
I don't know,
name.
it's-
Gray
I think
beards?
it's at
Graybeards.
some point I gotta get rid of them.
Kind of like that. That should be a
That's it.
show.
Yeah, the
Pirates,
Graybeards.
right?
Yeah.
Pirates.
Yeah.
It's like a pirate.
Also, beards have to go out of style at some point, right?
They never will.
I don't think so.
They were out of style for a long time.
They went out of style for women. I noticed that. That's not a big thing anymore.
Oh,
Like it
women
wasn't
still
I'm
love
trying to grow
in the
mine out,
1800s.
in a way.
but it's not coming back.
Wait, what's that term like? Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. When a guy has a beard,
Oh,
and
a
it's when
beard?
he's like trying to hide the fact that he's gay
Yeah.
and he has like a
can work either
girlfriend
or.
or something and calls her his beard.
Like,
Does it work the other way too?
yeah.
But it's not called beard though, is it?
I've always heard it that way.
Merkin.
Merkin. Oh my
Merkin
god.
or the-
Somewhere Bethany heard that and got excited. Do you know what a merkin is?
I do, and I know about Bethany's
Bethany's
fascination.
mercantile.
Mercantile.
I know.
All right, Bernie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We got your questions.
Okay.
Are we ready with our timer?
What happens if I okay?
All right, you ready?
Yes.
We got our timer ready, apparently. We'll find out. And go. If you were going away for 2 weeks, how far in advance would you start packing?
The day before.
How long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
5 minutes.
When in charge of others, how do you tend to be?
Me.
Are people who believe in the paranormal, for example, ghosts, vampires, aliens, etc., all crazy?
Yeah, they're fucking idiots.
Are you offered a choice of free training in martial arts or cooking? Which do you take?
Wow. Cooking with martial arts. That's what I do.
That's a hard question.
It is a hard question.
I feel like I would.
That one was really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like you'd learn cooking on your own. Martial arts is, I feel like if they plugged you into the Matrix,
Yeah.
and they're gonna download one thing, I would do martial arts, you know. But if I gotta go through the whole thing every day of learning it,
Yeah.
you know, improving myself, and fuck that. No.
Yeah.
You could be the
Go
fruit
cooking.
ninja. You put them together.
And
Yeah.
just ruin all your cooking.
Also, martial arts
Here's
is
your
one of
pie.
those things that people study their whole lives and then never use.
Yeah.
Like you study it not to use it. I mean, you get in shape and stuff like that. But I know people who were trained all the way up to like black belt back in the days when before MMA, when it was either like kung fu or karate.
Well, is
Right.
it something you are supposed to use, or just something that's like supposed to teach discipline?
I would hope that you would
and-
never want to use it.
Yeah, like I don't even know.
Well, that's what they tell you when you take the class.
It's like
so you don't realize it's a waste of your time.
Could you imagine that in cooking? Like they're chopping an onion and they go,
like-
and you should never do this.
Never cook.
We're gonna teach you.
Well, it's like people learn yoga, but do they ever like use yoga? Well, like to me, martial arts, that's more of like an exercise.
Can you
thing.
kill someone with serenity? Is that how that would work?
Downward facing dog?
Yeah, there we go.
That's how you get them.
Could you imagine that in like a really intense argument or a business negotiation? It's like, no, we're gonna do this. Like, fuck you. And the other person goes,
No,
like goes into a zone. Like
Honestly, that'd probably work on
it gets recentered.
Yeah, I'd be like,
It
you're
might.
fucking weird. All right.
What's your morning routine?
It all depends on what it is, but I have
Guess what?
Gets wet.
my
Step one.
like it gets wet. That's my first thing. I dry off though. I have like it takes me between 15 and 20 minutes, 20 and 25 minutes if I ride my bike to get to work.
Okay.
And so I try to get up as
Wait a
late
minute.
as possible.
You can ride. How fast can you ride your bike?
That's
crazy.
Ashley, one time we left the office at the same time,
Yeah.
and I got to the house 5 minutes after she did.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
I guess like you're taking a
Power
aren't you taking
legs.
a different route.
Well, the nice
Just-
thing about being a bike rider is you can ignore all traffic laws because apparently that's what people do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because bikers are both pedestrians and cars
At their convenience, Barbara.
at their own convenience.
What's a red light mean when you're a bike? I don't know. Just go right through it.
I'm a human.
But as a guy, like when somebody asks you what's your routine in the morning or routine for getting ready or whatever, do you actually have a routine? I feel like every morning of my life I wake up and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, like I get up and I'm like, do I need soap today? Is it like, do I brush something? What happens? Like, I feel like I'm a 5-year-old every day as a guy. No?
No.
I'm
No,
alone.
I'm like,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know
what
what
I'm
to
doing.
do. Like, you know?
I do that thing where I like cull things in my closet and in my bathroom.
What do you call them?
I call them garbage, and then I throw them out. It's the same effect. No, I'll get rid of 75% of the stuff that I have. Like if you go through your medicine cabinet or your closet in your bathroom, it's like, the fuck is all this stuff?
I do this thing in my closet, especially because I buy too many clothes, where I hang up everything one way or like backwards, and if I use it, I hang it back up the right way.
I should do that.
So if things are still hung up backwards by like 5-6 months after that, I just get rid of them.
That's
I
smart.
donate them because it's like clearly I'm not wearing this.
My whole thing is I'll come home and I'm like, I hate the shirt that I'm wearing. It's like, I always hate when I'm wearing the shirt. So as soon as I come home, I throw it in this, I have like 2 laundry hampers, and then one is like, as it builds up, then I just go donate it.
Donate. Yeah.
Yeah. But I never want to have more than 2 weeks of clothes in my house.
Okay.
Because I
In
wanna be
case
able
of
to-
the
wanna-
apocalypse?
No, I just want to be able to do all my laundry in one load. I've known Matt since college.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend in college. She would just like,
Congrats.
because you don't, thanks man, thanks. Because you had like laundromat, or we had the apartment complex, laundry machine, not one in our apartment,
Down the hall. Yeah.
it would just like, she would have mountains of clothes.
Oh, yeah.
And like every 3 weeks, laundry was like an event. And then you'd get this like clean apartment. You're like, why don't I live like this all the time?
Yeah.
So
I only do
swore by-
laundry when I run out of socks or underwear.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you swore that
Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
you're done with that.
I'm done.
So you were like a capsule clothing. So the whole thing of a capsule is like you have a bunch of different shirts that are all similar but different. And like, well, for girls, it's like
I
you
know
have
the
like
capsule
2
collections.
skirts, and it's basically like you
A
just
black
take
and a white
all
one.
of your things and you mix and match.
Yeah, I'm almost like a cartoon character. I would wear the same thing every day. You know, it just changes based on what the weather
Well, you got
is.
that polo with the little bunny.
I got 5 of those.
You got this black shirt.
I literally have one of those polos in the dryer right now because I was thought about wearing that. Depending on what he was going to wear, I was going to wear
Oh
something
yeah.
different.
Bernie and I show up wearing the same thing way too often.
Really? I don't think I've
Ironically,
ever
Jeff
seen
as
you
well.
guys wear the
Yeah,
same thing.
we've done it. We do it all the time.
It's jeans and black t-shirts. That's what
Yeah.
we wear.
I wore this one. I was going to mention it later, but I wore this shirt special today in celebration of the 15-year anniversary. This is a shirt that says Blondie on the back. Can't turn around completely. But you guys gave this to me when I was, I think, 16 or 17 years old.
So how old is that shirt?
About 12 years.
Wow, it's crazy. It's holding up really well. What
Hey,
fine
what-
merchandise.
It's 'cause I
what
haven't
state-
worn it.
What state can we fuck your shirt in?
All of them.
Let's just ask the internet. They'll tell us.
They will. All right, Meryl, you ready?
Yes.
Good luck.
Oh,
Mary.
Ready with our timer? Yes, okay. And go. What kind of movie would you most likely play a leading part in? Sorry.
I don't know, a documentary about a cult.
Do you loathe or tremendously dislike most of the people you encounter?
No.
You're shopping for someone and have 3 versions to choose from. Which do you pick? The most style, most features, or lowest price?
Probably lowest price.
How much do you procrastinate?
All the time.
What do you usually wear when you sleep?
Usually a Rooster Teeth
Stop
shirt.
procrastinating.
Usually a Rooster Teeth shirt.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're soft and affordable.
Well, the ones, there you go.
Because they're lying all over the office.
You can add another one of those dings.
No, I found like the banana of pimp shirt, which I like, was like, I don't even remember ever
Oh
getting
my God,
this.
that's from the
No, it is a gauntlet. It is
Yeah.
a gauntlet.
Gauntlet,
You're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's from a
the
long
other
time
day.
ago. Were you here when we did that?
No, I don't know how I got it.
In your
I think it was probably when I was an intern. I saw it laying around, and I was like, well, no one's claimed this yet. And, take that.
So she's
Sorry
stole from
for
the company.
stealing.
What's your favorite shirt in
My-
the history of the company? The one that you wish you'd make again just so you could buy it again.
Oh my God. Any of the Barbara Dunkelman collection.
Nice. That was a softball. It's like lobbed up there for you. Mine is I wear the Day 5 one. I have like 2 of those. The Day
yeah.
5 cruise shirt.
Oh, it's the
It's just a
gray
great one. Just says Day 5 on it. I don't know. I love that
Has
shirt.
anybody seen the RT animation crew shirt? Has the public seen it? From
Which,
the one that we just that Cohen made, or I think Cohen made it. Somebody over there made it for this past year.
I don't think I've
That's
seen
got
it.
the lineup. That's like the
Evolution?
caveman evolution thing.
Yeah, with all the
like-
characters from RT Animation.
It's really cool.
It is
I
cool.
did not
Yeah.
receive that shirt.
I kind of want them to sell it because it looks so cool, just so other people can have it.
Yeah,
But
there's
it's like starts with the rocks from Nomad and goes up to the Genlock character.
You could sell it to the employees. Did you ever think about that?
Oh, hey.
I saw dollar signs appear on the screen.
All right, Barbara. Are we ready with the timer?
Yeah, I think you cheated and looked at yours though.
I didn't look at mine.
All right. And go. Generally speaking, are you a worrier?
Yes.
Does the idea of living underwater fascinate you?
Yes.
How good are you at fixing things around the house?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Does the idea of actively participating in the reenactment of historical events interest you?
No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes.
Do you try to eat healthy, or do you just eat whatever you feel like?
Whatever I feel like. Let's
Oh,
be
you've
real.
been eating better though. I've been
trying
working hard.
to.
Yeah.
I started doing Orange Theory the other day.
Oh, yeah.
You guys
Oh,
heard of
how's
this?
that?
It makes it sound like
Oh,
you're
yeah,
eating
yeah.
oranges though, from the context of our conversations.
It does.
Just eating oranges.
It's
nonstop.
like a workout program.
It's murderous, from
It-
what I understand.
It is the hardest workout I've ever done.
Yeah.
My heart was
Bethany loves
racing
it.
for the next 24 hours.
To me, it feels like public performance.
That's
though.
crack. That's not a workout.
I think they gave us all
If your
cocaine.
heart won't, that's right. It's like I went into this workout place and they gave everybody meth and we went home. It's great.
I lost a ton of weight.
That's right.
It's all I do now.
I saw a lot of people were doing it, and then they stopped doing it. And now I think there's a resurgence of it.
Have they stopped doing it, or have they stopped Instagramming about it? Or
Maybe.
Is that the same thing?
Maybe that's what it
I want to
is.
thank you for not Instagramming about
I
Orange
don't
Theory.
like, here's the thing, I don't like publicly sharing when I'm working out and stuff, because then I feel like it puts too much pressure on myself.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree
Because then I
too.
got to keep up with it. Because if I stop, nobody will know.
Has
Also,
you-
it's like if you work out a lot, people are like, why aren't you in better shape? if you're at the gym all the time.
Like, you keep talking about all this workout you're doing, and I don't see results.
I put up one little bit, because it was part of my daily routine, I put one little bit in the last vlog about going to the gym. But that's as much as I'll do.
It's just part of your life.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever been approached by a fan or a community member while you're working out?
No.
I
I go to
met,
shitty gyms.
it's like if I'm out jogging or something. Like,
Oh, has that happened to you?
I've run into people, and one time I met somebody and he said, "Oh, you're trying to work out.
Trying to
You're
work.
trying to work out."
Good for you.
That was great. It's like, I mean, it's not happening yet, but you know, keep at it.
You're trying. That's
You know,
what
you're
counts.
trying, yeah.
Well, I think we talked about this on a podcast maybe one time. When you see someone jogging, you see someone running on the street, you assume they do that every day.
Right, when you're in the car and you see them.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that person's probably out here. It could be their first time. And it's like, so whenever you're that person jogging, you're like, oh, everyone's going to know that this is my first time doing this. But everyone
My
probably just thinks
question
they
is
do it all
always
the time.
like, what the fuck do you do for work? Like, why are you jogging at 10 a.m.?
I always see people, at like 1 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to point out that you guys are in your cars driving around town. And to see these people.
we're going on a work trip. Yeah.
Because I have that thing all the time where I go to the mall like 2 on a Thursday. It's like, why do these people? Why do they have jobs? And but I'm at the mall.
At the mall.
You know, it's part of the problem. But I always think about that with the people, specifically people who are doing that thing where they're running in place, waiting for the light to change.
Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
fucking
Just
take
take
it
a
easy.
minute.
Yeah. Just walk in a circle.
All right, well, before I move on, I'd like to thank Audible. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by Audible. For our audience, Audible is offering a free audiobook with 30-day trial. If you want to listen to it, Audible has it. That's a good slogan. Just go to audible.com/open or text OPEN to 500-500 and start browsing their unmatched selection of audio content. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy.
You can listen while you jog or try to exercise.
There you go. What other excuse do you need? Whether you want to feel healthier, get motivated, learn something new, or just relax and listen, Audible has an audiobook for that. Audible's selection of audiobooks, original shows, news, comedy, and more is unmatched anywhere. You will find what you are looking for. I recently started listening to Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, who is Austin local.
Who reads that? Do you know?
Will Wheaton.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
I read the book a few years ago, and I wanted to revisit it before I saw the movie. So just started listening to it, and Will Wheaton brings a whole new level to the book. And
That sounds good.
Really enjoyable, actually. Yeah,
I might try that too.
you should check it out. Yeah, I'm trying to
Okay.
digest it again before seeing the movie because I know that it'll be a cool experience. Audible members get a credit every month, good for any audiobook, regardless of price, and unused credit rolls over to the next month. Didn't like your audiobook? You could exchange it, no questions asked. Get a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial at audible.com/open, or text OPEN to 500-500, that's AUDIBLE.com/open, or text OPEN to 500-500. Thanks to Audible for supporting Always Open.
Indeed.
I always love how our promo code is open.
Open.
So easy
It's great.
and dirty at the same time.
I gotta say, like in the acronym, I always call the show Always Open, but when I see it like in our notes and things like that,
Ayo.
Ayo. It's like,
Yeah.
it always makes me laugh when I see
We
that.
got that, and we have the box of issues, which is boy. And we also recently did the Improve My Profile, which is IMP. We're just trying to come up with games and segments that have the best acronyms.
Improve My Profile is like a service you could offer. I mean, it is, people need help.
We were joking about creating our own dating site.
Consulting, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
people actually took to it. They were like, "Oh, I didn't realize." Like, someone was like, "I went looking for the Always Open dating app after we did it on the last episode."
Just a credit to our graphics department.
Matt, I'm gonna pitch an idea here. So we have for the 6 months before RTX in Austin.
Yeah.
As you know, Barbara's dad, Larry, is the primary, if not only, developer for the RTX app that we use.
He's the only one.
It's a great app. I just don't know if he uses third-party stuff. But what if Barbara's able to test market this thing by making a hookup section of the RTX app?
Are there not legalities?
Well, that's why we have the CEO here. If he says yes, and we get all legality goes out the window. It doesn't matter.
Emphasis on the sex of section.
It'll be RT sex.
Yeah.
RTX.
RT sex.
RTXXX.
RT triple X.
a great
Come
name.
on, sells itself.
I know.
Sounds like it does not need any disclaimers or very long terms of use that you have to sign.
No, zero.
Yeah.
None at all.
There must be
Must be
stuff
easy.
on Tinder that must be the terms of use.
Must be insane.
They must be insane, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's probably a lot of risk involved, I assume, with starting a dating app and I guess, responsibility if, something goes down, if people meet on Tinder and some guy kills someone.
Or if somebody has a kid.
Does it fall
That can
to
also be a
Tinder?
thing,
Yeah.
too.
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm sure it's in their terms of use.
Right.
They probably explicitly called it, no,
Right.
that has nothing to do with us.
If you have a kid, don't blame us. If you get killed, don't blame us.
Whereas with us, we say if you meet on Rooster Teeth and you have a kid, you guys own 10% of its income.
Yes.
for
Lifetime income?
That's right.
the entire life. It's in the
Lifetime.
terms of.
Seems fair.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we asked our community to ask some questions since they knew you guys were going to be here. And we had a lot of great ones, but we chose just a few. This one comes from Danielle P. And Danielle writes, "What's it like knowing that you have an audience that is younger than the company itself? And how does it affect the content that the company produces? Do you find yourself trying to be better role models, and how do you accomplish this?"
It was such a sweetly worded question. I feel like I can't give a stupid answer to it.
For
I
once
have
in
to
your
say
life.
for once in my life. It is interesting being at the 15-year mark because we have Burnie and I both have kids that are around this age.
Isn't JD 15?
JD's 16 now, just turned 16.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's pretty crazy.
And
So
Webb is.
Webb's 13.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and they watch our stuff, and their friends, and even kids that they go to school with that they don't know, watch our stuff. So that can be interesting and awkward. So yeah, you do want to have, I don't know, feel like you're making stuff that's, good and, I don't know, that you're not going to feel, well, just that you're not going to feel later like, oh, I'm embarrassed that that's a kind of content that we make, or that, I don't want my kids to feel ashamed of the kind of content that their dad and their family, makes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which just doesn't mean like we love doing things that are risque like this show and things that are a little edgy and all that kind of stuff, and like we would never stop doing any of that. And I think comedy is much about pushing the envelope, you know.
One more season.
Like we want to always be like pushing the envelope as far as we can be, but I think there's a, you know, when you're doing something that's just not, I don't know, when you're only in it for views or for money or whatever, and that's not what we are interested in.
And in fact, for a while we had Game Kids, which was an actual effort to have programming that was specifically so young kids could watch it.
And your kids were both in it, right?
Yeah, they were both. Yeah, all were in it. Yeah, and Millie as well, and Chelsea Harfouche, who's not a kid, but she was in as well. But I always feel like we make content here that we want to see, so I don't really make content for 13-year-olds. But at the same time, I remember what it was like when I was 13. And younger people tend to age themselves up. They don't want to watch content that's age appropriate for them. They just don't want to. And with my kids, what I did when JD started to flex that a little bit, like he wanted to see World War Z. I remember when he was like 12 when it came out, or 11. And I said, no, we're not going to go see World War Z, but if you want to read the book, you can totally read the book. And so
They're totally different, though, aren't they?
Oh, they're totally different. Yeah, they're also because don't go see World War Z. That's a totally separate conversation.
Another tangent.
But my idea was, if he wants to kind of age himself up and like kind of push his boundaries a little bit, I'd rather have him do that with a book than do it by just watching a movie or some TV show.
Totally.
Yeah. But it's up to the parents. I don't make content for 13-year-olds, not specifically. And if they want to age up and watch it, that's fine. You know, with me. As long as their parents are okay with it.
It is weird to think about, though, that a lot of our audience is younger than the company. Like, people are 13, 12, and the company is 15 years old. I was 15 when I started watching.
Yeah.
And so now the company is as old as I was when I started, which is crazy. But I'm 28. So
How did this happen?
how does the math work?
Yeah, how does that work out?
I think it's because I started later.
Yeah.
I started 2 years later. And the second part of that question is, do you find yourself trying to be better role models? Like, I know me and Meryl.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
Well,
with the show in particular, a lot of people reach out to us and say that we've become role models for them, especially a lot of the female audience. And that is very nerve-wracking because I'm very used to not caring about what I say or what I do, and now I have to kind of realize anything I say and do does have an impact on people.
Sure.
And can sway what people think and how people will react to certain situations. So it's...
yeah, well, I mean, that's the greatest part of a job like this is that you get to kind of like leave a legacy out there in the world, and you want to leave a legacy that, is helpful to people and, like makes people feel better about the world and better about themselves and everything. That's what we're here to entertain,
It's a lot of pressure.
and not, and not worse. The role model thing is tough and interesting. Like, I guess I try to approach it more from the aspect of trying to be responsible.
Right.
And I don't, the role model thing is like, I guess there's a bit of not wanting to have the ego associated with saying like, I'm a role model, because I don't think that's what anybody here is looking to do. But at the same time, you realize that once you get in the public eye, that there are going to be people who are looking up to you or looking to you for cues on how they should behave or other things they should do, and you want to be responsible about that.
Yeah.
And so we should all get drunk now.
I think there's a way to go about it where you could still be yourself and be true to yourself, but also still be like aware what you're saying has an impact.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And just be a good example in a way.
Well, I think it goes back to the conversation we just had about the gym, which is I don't have to tweet about it or put it on social media all the time that I'm in the gym or whatever.
You're trying to work out.
Likewise, I'm trying to work out. I'm just trying my best.
You should post that next time.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out. But it's one of those things. It's you just got to establish like how you want to live your life, and hopefully you're living that in a positive way, and hopefully that bleeds over to people who watch it without you telling them you should also have to live this way, because everyone's life is different and not everything's going to work for everyone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What do you think, Meryl?
I don't know. I just remember when we first started doing this show, and I never really had like a public outing. Like I'd never publicly came out, but I knew that doing this show, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to be more honest. I'm gonna have to live my truth. I have to come out and say that I'm not dating Tyler. It's gonna break a lot of hearts.
Or so she says.
But it has been important to have people that'll reach out and be like, hey, like, I you know, a lot of people reach out after Caden's episode, and they're like, we watched Caden's episode, and she was so great, and like it gave me the courage to talk to my family about those issues, and like I'm transgender as well, and like all of these things, and so it's just been amazing to like know that, you know, something like this, that we, you know, we sit here and we drink and we have fun and whatever, but it does have a larger
Well, you
impact.
realize that representation matters.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And representation, I think, puts an extra responsibility on the person as well.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's added. Well, cool. I'll read this next question. This one comes from Kelly B. A lot of ladies in our community. That's cool.
They all have like kind of cool rap names.
I know. Kelly B. Daniel.
Kelly B.
I'm Barbara D.
Barbara D.
Meryl S.
That doesn't work. We'll work on it.
So Kelly writes, when y'all started working on building the business aspects of Rooster Teeth to be more than what someone would just call just a hobby, did you have supportive friends and family, or were there people trying to talk you down? And if there were dream crushers, how did you handle the lack of support from people you maybe felt should have been?
That's such a great question. I don't think I've ever heard it framed that way.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think usually what I always encountered was that people just didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know, and so there would be a period of like, you know, you're at a party and trying to explain to somebody what you did, or talking to your parents or your parents' friends or whatever, and you know, you'd say, I put out videos on the internet for free, and then there's just this complete befuddlement that is something that is a job people could do.
Yeah.
You know, and it started to change a lot now because there's all these stories about YouTube, you know, blogger celebrities. And so it seems like, I guess that seems like a real profession to some people now. So they can kind of go like, oh, so you're like Jake Paul. I'm like, dear God. You know, not at all. But
Actually, we're like Logan Paul.
right. I don't ever like, I never thought, I mean, I don't think anybody ever said to me like, oh my God, you shouldn't do that. That's a really bad idea. I mean, the story I've told before is like when things were going well and Burnie was like, you need to get back to Austin, like let's make a run at this. I said to Anna, you know, that I think that we should quit our jobs here and move back to Austin so we can try this thing and give away videos on the internet for free. Essentially, it was was the business proposition. She was like, awesome, let's do it. You know, so I feel like people have been generally supportive. Even I think maybe it was just because it was so weird they couldn't figure it out. Like, if that's something you're doing and it makes sense, then more power to you.
Yeah.
You know? Did you have the same experience?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, we also had pressure from the industry, and like we had a lot of friends who were going off and working in TV and film and things like that. And it's easy to look back now and see that web video is this big thing, and a lot of people do it and make a living at it. But even words like home video back then were dirty words. It's like, oh, your movie went straight to video.
Straight to video.
It's
Yeah,
too bad.
that always meant it wasn't good.
That wasn't good, right? And so, in web video was like the best description I ever heard that someone make of web video back then was being in one of your friends' web series is like the new jury duty. Like you have to go do this for your friends. You got to go. Shit, my friend's got a web series. I got to go be in this fucking thing. Yeah, so it was like, and you know, we just had an idea of where things were headed, and you know, just kind of stuck with it. But even as late as like when I was still CEO, like 2010, 2011, we were getting questions from the press like, hey, do you think one day that people will make money doing what you guys are doing? It's like, you just toured our office. We have like 40 people that
At
work
that point,
here.
you've been going for what, 7 years?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so there's always some of that. But in the early days, one of the things that helped was that RVB was a hit, not overnight, but like right out of the gate, it was a hit, which really helps. Now, even today, we have to like give shows a little bit of runway to build up. But it was like the fact that we had a hit on our hands, that helped a lot.
It almost seems like now, still to this day, web content is still looked down upon. Like,
I
people
agree.
are like, when are you going to go mainstream? It's
Right.
like, well, this kind of is mainstream now. Like,
Yeah.
the majority of people, I guess the millennial generation, watch their content online.
Right.
It's like where they watch their stuff. So I
Altered
imagine
Carbon is a web series.
yeah,
It is.
I imagine that could be frustrating to not be, I guess, legitimized by the industry in itself that you're trying to be part of. Or I guess not.
Well, Steven Spielberg literally just said that Netflix movies, he says Netflix because it's almost like the way Hollywood talks about digital content. They say Netflix, just like when the rest of the world talks about online video, they said YouTube forever.
Yeah.
And Steven Spielberg said that Netflix movies should not be eligible for Oscars because you're just making TV movies. And
Yeah.
that's not, go for the Emmys.
The Cannes Film Festival just blocked Netflix from that as well.
The audience booed like resoundingly when they see the Netflix logo.
Yeah.
At the Cannes Film Festival.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, we had bad reviews on Laser Team that started with, like, if YouTube was in the first sentence of the review, I knew it was a bad review, because like they were fixated on YouTube, and it was like that exact same phenomenon of they see a logo that to them is associated with something that can't possibly be quality content. It's this other thing. It's not what I'm used to. It's not traditional. And that's just weird to me.
Well, it's like it'll never get the same shot as something else.
Yeah, but and as an artist, like when I was getting into the industry and trying out new things, what was always exciting to me was being able to innovate and do new things and try new things that other people weren't doing. And the idea that there's this like pressure to conform, basically, and do it in the same way as everybody else and on the same platforms as everybody else, or else it's not legitimate somehow, is crazy.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like we have always run like directly against that, you know, not because we felt like it was the only way to do business, but because we felt like it was as legitimate a way to do business and create art as anything else. I mean, how many forums are there where there are shows like this where we can directly interact with the audience and take questions from them and like talk to them and chat at the same time? It's like, it's just a completely different thing,
and get instant
which is good.
feedback.
And get instant feedback.
That's something I think you guys talked about in your early days of being able to put something online and instantly get feedback.
Yep.
Get comments and responses to it. Whereas you put up a television show, and how do you find out what people like?
You just broadcast it to the airwaves.
Yeah.
It's much more like bottoms up approach, versus a top down approach, which is what, you know, traditional entertainment's always been.
Right. Yeah. Did you have people in your life that were hesitant about your career?
My parents still don't understand what I do here. I was literally on the phone with my mom yesterday, and she's like, "Yeah, you know, because she's never been to an RTX, and she like doesn't even."
Does she watch anything?
No. I think when we did 11 Little Roosters, she was like, "Oh, you're like, you're a Mexican."
You're representing the family.
Yeah. But so it's still like, they're still like, yeah, you know, like whatever you do, like we're happy now. When I was in college, I was thinking about going to medical school and whatnot, and so they were like super excited about that. And then I was like, well, actually, this is what I really want to do. And they're like, well, we're happy, but like, what? How are you gonna
What are you
live?
gonna do
Like, what are you
next?
gonna, like what is? Are you sure that can't just be like a hobby of yours? And it wasn't until in college I got an internship at Sony, and they recognized that name. So they're like, oh, okay, like I think we get it. And then now that I'm like, yeah, I've been here for a while, like they're slowly starting to get it, but I think I want to bring them to RTX this year so they can finally like.
RTX helps a
I
lot.
think
awesome.
honestly, everyone's parents of people who work here should experience RTX.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that to me is like the moment of like, this is a real
Yeah.
thing where people are just like so enthusiastic and excited about this thing that you're a part of and creating.
I think everyone's parents, everyone, you know, themselves, and tickets are on sale now.
Yeah. But it's a funny thing when you see it, like if you have a panel room, and some of the biggest panel rooms at RTX are like 5,000, 6,000 people, right?
Yeah.
So if you get someone in the room and there's 5,000 or 6,000 people there, it's like, oh my God, that's incredible. And you step back and you think, well, if we put up a video and 5,000 people watched it, we'd be like, what happened?
That's
like,
so low.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, and it's just, but there's something about having those people all in the room together. People just haven't made that connection.
Yeah.
And I think we all made that connection years ago. Because when we see the comments and we see the views, and we do connect with those people. We understand because we're those people ourselves watching videos.
It was the same thing with the crowdsourcing stuff.
Yeah.
For the first Laser Team campaign, I think we had about 32 or 36.
Yeah, we broke the record at 32,000 people.
32,000 backers. But again, like that number for views for us is low.
Right.
But then when you think of 32,000 people contributing and making this movie with us,
Right.
Right.
it's a huge number.
It's nuts.
Which I think is important too, because I mean, 32,000 is a lot of people, but it is more important because in the web world also you hear these enormous numbers, and we have them, so we talk about them as well. Like, you know, 9 billion video views, you know, how many videos we produce, how many, 40 million subscribers across all of our channels and those things. And someone starting out hears those numbers and it's just like, it makes no sense to them. When you hear 32,000 people broke a record, that's like, you can start to wrap your mind around how to build an audience with that, you know? Because maybe you can't start off with 32,000, but you might put together like 2 to 5.
Yeah.
You know? And if you get to 2 to 5, maybe you get to 10. If you can get to 10, maybe you can get to 30, you know?
Yeah, it's very impressive how quickly that could grow, and how much power that small amount of people has in terms of like boosting you to where you want to be.
Yeah. I mean, those people change this company. I mean, the stuff we're doing now, it's like we just went up another level.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily with like that specific production, but just like what we were looking at And the plans we had, we kind of drew them forward too.
I'm very proud of you guys.
Well, thank you. What about you, Barb? Did you have that when you were starting out?
I didn't actually. I think a lot of people were kind of like, "Oh, I hear you're moving to Austin. That's cool," and they didn't really have any questions. My parents were very familiar with Rooster Teeth. Not at first. They actually came with me to the first RBBTO in 2005.
Smart move.
Because I had just turned 16 at the time, and they're like, "You're going to Toronto to meet who?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh,
A guy on the internet?
friends
Okay.
from the internet." And they're like, what, internet? We're gonna come with you and make sure this is like a legit thing. So I remember they stayed at the same hotel as I did, and they had one of the organizers who was Joe Microbe on the site. He had to come with me to my parents' room to like introduce himself.
Oh my.
And he was like 19 at the time, and he's like, "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Dunkelman. Like, yes, this is a legitimate event. I'm one of the organizers. Your daughter will be very safe with us." Still don't know why they trusted him, but they did.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, very nice
Yeah.
guy.
Is that why they come to RTX every year? Just to make sure you're still hanging around? with
Just
the
to
right
make sure
crowd?
it's legit.
Does Joe have to come up every convention
Every
appearance?
time.
Every time.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mrs. Dunkelman, thank you so much.
Sorry, Barbara will be fine.
All the way from Canada. He's like the person who just reassures them no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But no, they were very excited for me, and like now they're super fans.
Yeah.
As you guys know, my
Yeah.
parents watch everything, and they follow everyone on Twitter, and
Yeah.
they do the RTX app.
They came to Australia.
They came to Australia and London.
Yeah.
They've come to every international RTX. Well,
awesome.
like the first ones. They haven't come to the second ones because they're slacking.
It's nice to have supportive parents.
It is.
So can I ask you a question?
No.
In regards to all this stuff? I'm gonna ask it anyway. When someone asks you that you're meeting for the first time, what do you do for a living? What's your answer?
I say I do marketing and social media for a production company.
Really? So you don't say host or actress or anything like that?
It's hard to explain that because usually I'll say that and they're like, "Oh, that's cool," and I was like, "Yeah, I also do hosting and like on camera stuff with them as well,
Yeah.
and voice acting," and then they go, "Cool." I think because they're just confused
Yeah.
because it's a lot of information all at once.
Yeah. It's always funny when I get asked that question because I always describe what it is first. I'm like, "Oh, I work for a production company and we do all these things," and they're like, "Oh, okay." Okay, it's all on the web, and I said, "Oh yeah," and then I say Rooster Teeth, and they're like, "Oh, Rooster Teeth, okay." Yeah.
That helps. That was
like it
many
happened
years
last.
before
It
that
happened last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
Well, especially in Austin, I think it's
Yeah.
become more common
Yeah.
knowledge
yeah."
here. But yeah, I'm hesitant to tell people the name because I don't want them to like start looking me up
Yeah.
and get my info.
Right.
But like, I've started saying more on the marketing side, especially when I'm like looking to buy a house and need like loans and stuff, where I'm just like, I do marketing
Yeah.
instead of like, I'm an actress.
right.
Yeah.
Right. On the internet.
Exactly. All right. Well, before we move on, we were talking about skincare routines earlier in the show.
Were we?
Well, here's a suggestion: BioClarity.
Why are you looking
First
at
step,
me?
get wet.
Matt, you're gonna have to be wet to use it. You'll be super
Oh,
excited
man.
about this.
You do have to. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by BioClarity. Finding the right skincare routine is super important. Taking great care of your skin can boost your energy and radiance. I love using BioClarity. It makes my skin feel super soft and look very healthy. I look like a young 25, even though I'm 28.
Oh yes.
Thanks for the laugh off camera there. BioClarity delivers glowing, clear skin by reducing redness and boosting your natural beauty. You could use it twice daily without worrying about excess irritation, and there's no harsh chemicals. BioClarity is packed with clarifying botanicals and new Floralux. Yes, that's a real word. It's naturally derived from chlorophyll, yes, the green stuff plants need, and is proven to soothe away blemishes. BioClarity is delivered straight to you, and it is an easy-to-use 3-step skincare ritual that's 100% vegan, plus gluten and cruelty-free. Use the 3 steps: cleanse, treat, and restore to take care of your skin. BioClarity also offers a skin smoothie with Hydrate. It's a lightweight, breathable moisturizer designed for even the most sensitive skin. Start a healthy habit and get glowing, clear skin. Just go to bioclarity.com. Our listeners will get their first month for only $9.95 plus free shipping. That's a $20 savings. And it comes with a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee, but you need to enter the code OPEN. That's bioclarity.com and use the code OPEN. Classic.
Classic.
Anna's gonna make me try that now.
Is she?
It's good.
The best part is Will Wheaton will come to your house and put it on your face.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
And then we have another ad at the end of the show where it's all tied together.
Oh, really?
That's exactly right.
So we have one more question from the community. This one comes from Joseph G. Actually, this might be Joe Microbe.
Oh yeah.
Now that I'm looking at how it's spelled. And he writes, 15 years is a great accomplishment. Congratulations to everyone. That's the whole question. No, I'm just kidding. What's in
I
store?
worked really hard.
Thank you. What's in store for the next 15 years? Do you see yourself continuing to be part of RT, or do you have other projects waiting to spark?
Well, we do have that cooking and kung fu collaboration we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes.
Features
so
Will eating it. So
Yeah, that's
it'll be
right.
good.
Yep.
we might want to do that.
He washes your face for you,
And then karate
and
chop.
then you cook.
I mean, I hope that Rooster Teeth will always be a part of my life. You know, I don't know in what form, you know, but it'd be nice to be 75 and get to come back and do stuff at Rooster Teeth. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, predicting what Rooster Teeth is going to do in 15 years, it's kind of like predicting where the entertainment industry is going to be in 15 years.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
That's not what we set out to do in April of 2003.
Well, also what Rooster Teeth has done in the last 5 years
Yeah.
is something that I never thought I'd see Rooster Teeth do. You know, like 3 feature films, a book, or multiple books. It's the Red
Yeah.
versus Blue book. Like all these different things where you couldn't have predicted this even 5 years ago.
Listen, there's a lot of tough things along the way where, you know, going back to the online video thing, we've dealt with, you know, skepticism, people saying no also, but we dealt with that from the community too. Like things that we've done of doing features, you know, the full screen deal that we did at the time, people were like, I was like, oh, they've done this thing for 10, 11 years so that they could just like cash out and run or something like that. And it's like, you just gotta weather through that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you're always gonna have those voices and you just power through. It's like, you have a plan. We just saw what was happening in the online digital video world, and we saw how nobody was paying attention to it until about 2011, and then suddenly everybody's paying attention to
When
it.
did YouTube start? 2006?
6. Yeah, 3 years
Wow.
after Rooster Teeth. But it was like, even YouTube was like, kind of like, honestly, like public access television, the way most people talked about it, you know? But it wasn't until these major, I'd say probably House of Cards was the big turning point.
That's a pretty big one, yeah.
For the industry. When somebody was investing $100 million into a web series that was not going to appear in theaters or on television, at least not on network television.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I mean, we looked up and saw, you know, we were a big part of the story of online video for the first chapter. We very clearly see another chapter is starting. And if we want to be part of the second chapter, we have to be able to compete with people like Netflix and HBO. Netflix spending $8 billion or, you know, making 700
shows,
series
yeah.
in 1 year.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things we have to do. And it's our job to see those things coming way down the road. Otherwise, you'd be talking about Rooster Teeth in the past tense, you know?
Right.
This thing that was cool.
Well, there's that whole, I've heard multiple people at this company say it, but it's something of like, the internet demands change and hates change or something.
No, that's my saying. It's
That's what you say?
the internet demands progress but hates change.
Hates change.
So it's all the little changes along the way that really like, upset people. Like anytime YouTube changes their format,
Algorithm,
their
or
algorithm or
formatting, or the way it looks,
the way the comments are, or they
the
move the like button
background,
2
yeah.
inches to the right, and
Yeah.
everybody says it's the end of it. It goes through all the comments on all the popular videos. They have like usually some ASCII like protests going on, and it's like, but yeah, those little changes are hard along the way. But if you go back now in 2018 and try to use the YouTube site in 2009, it's garbage.
Yeah.
It's unusable garbage.
Or like if Rooster Teeth was still just making Red versus Blue
Right.
Right.
in a spare bedroom.
Right.
It would
Right.
not exist anymore.
Which Five Guys? Well, I mean, we could have made a living doing Red versus Blue if we just said, okay, this is good enough. You know?
Yeah.
We could have done it even now through to season 16.
You probably would have killed each other though by then, I imagine.
Probably so.
And eaten one of you.
Who would be the first to go?
Whoever's the tastiest.
Gus is the biggest. Although he's like,
Gus has that
Is he the
nice
tastiest?
meaty gut.
Yeah.
no, I
He's
can't
probably
imagine.
the spiciest.
Being the grouchiest doesn't necessarily make the spiciest.
The corrections. Who would be first to go?
Why are we contemplating
I
this
don't
so
know.
hard,
I'm
Barbara?
kind of wondering.
A battle royale.
Yeah, I feel like, and people have asked me this before too, especially with like Bloodfest happening. They've asked me like, do I want to do more acting and like, do I
Yeah.
want to do more stuff like outside of Rooster Teeth? And I always say that I've gotten to do everything I wanted to do and more just within Rooster Teeth. I've gotten to do community management. I've gotten to act. I've gotten to host. I've gotten to like do my own show. I've gotten to be on podcasts. And it's like all these different things. I've been able to write an episode of Red versus Blue. Like,
Yeah.
what?
So what do you want to do next, Barbara?
I don't know. I've always said that I'd like to direct.
Yeah.
I'd love to direct something eventually. Maybe write something a little longer form. And again, like those are things I could see myself doing at Rooster Teeth, hopefully. And also maybe write a book.
Yeah.
It'll be a coffee table of dick drawings.
Hey, we talked about doing a coffee table
I think
for
we
this
could
show.
actually
Yeah.
market that.
It's true. We kind of want to do a coffee table book for Always Open that has like all of our different like drink recipes and quotes and funny stories from the show.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's get
Trademark.
Yvonne on that. Yvonne's been enjoying making the books.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a bunch of books that she's working on right now.
Yeah.
So, talk about that.
I
With her.
feel like this company has two different rhythms. Like the rhythm of the day-to-day is very much like the hair, where everyone's going crazy and racing.
Yeah.
It's more of sprint, but then the long-term rhythm of the company is more of a marathon. You know, it's more of that pace. And things are very measured that we do going forward, plans that we have and things like that. But yeah, I mean, even where we're sitting right now, this broadcast space is just like, they like demolish it and rebuild it every day. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes 3 times a day, you know?
Well, that's been the craziest thing is working. I've been here for almost 4 years, and when we started, it was Patrick and I. Like Patrick was the first hire, I was the second that he hired. It was 2 of us, and then Kara running like tech directing, and then like Sony cameras.
Yeah.
And like that
And
was
Brandon, too, was,
Brandon
like,
and Kyle, like
to switch
running like Sony handheld cams to like do broadcast shows, and now it's like.
This.
Look at this.
Yeah.
And there's like 15 dudes all here, but you know, like it's grown so much.
Our
just in the
percent
last,
of women in
like,
broadcast has gone down.
Yeah, you know.
It used to be you and Kara.
Yeah, you and Kara.
That's right. We've lost a step there. I
I
didn't
guess
realize
it
that.
used to be 50%.
There you go. Yeah, but it's been amazing just here in the short time that I've been here, you know, in comparison to you guys, but just like how it's blown up and how it's grown. And, like,
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I always
it's
think
insane.
about how I was employee number 28. It's on my.
I love that you know your employee number.
The second I got my first paycheck and I had my like employee number on it, I was like 28. I'm gonna remember that. And now we're at 350, like
300 over 300 plus.
Oh,
I don't remember
300.
exactly where we are now.
And that's just in
Yeah.
the last 6.5 years.
Well, the thing I'm super proud of too is along the lines of the company lasting a really long time is that this is the first place I've ever worked where people stay here for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like the average length of employment is super long, especially for people who appear on camera, which just tends to be the most volatile careers. Is we've had people that have been on camera here for 12, 15 years at this point, you know? And,
Yeah.
and it's kind of that's the normal.
It's a really long live stream.
What's it?
Flip that off at some point. The employee number thing actually is like really inspiring to me when I hear people talk about it. I remember I think Carrie might have been the first person who like said his employee number to me like in conversation like that. Then I was like, oh, you know your employee number? That's kind of amazing and awesome. And I remember when my stepmom visited when we had moved here to to AFS, and all of our sound stages are these old airplane hangars, and she had worked in a business that started in an airplane hangar and was a very small operation. It was like 4 or 5 people, and she was the secretary for the CEO.
Wow.
And she knew her employee number, and she was very proud of her employee number. And that business went on to become FedEx.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
She's
So-
employed like number what, like
She's in
seven or
teens or something, yeah.
Oh my God.
So when I hear a story like that and I look around and I see what we're doing now, I'm like, well, anything is possible.
Yeah.
You know, like we've done things that I think we all never imagined we would do in 15 years. And so you think of the next 15 years, like sky's the limit, you know?
We could start shipping.
We could start shipping. We're going in.
people
We're
already ship
competing
us,
against
no.
FedEx right now. That's our next adventure. But really, you know, I mean, like stranger things have happened. Think about how many crazy huge startups, you know, from Dell to Facebook to Apple started in somebody's garage or dorm room.
Isn't Dell
Yeah.
in Austin? Yeah.
Started in University of Texas dorm room.
Yeah.
See, and I also think about all the bright, shiny things where something launches and everyone's like, this is the greatest thing ever and it's going to change the world. And then 3 years later, you don't hear about it. And we're
Yeah.
just still going along. That's what I always think.
Right.
Because during especially those first, 10 years, 10 years, I always felt like we were never number one. Like
Yeah.
even if you look at, even for like a machinima show or a machinima video, Red versus Blue is not the most well-known one. It's still Leroy Jenkins. That's what
Yeah.
people always reference on Jeopardy questions and
But I
stuff
think
like that.
a lot of people don't really refer to that as machinima.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
Technicality.
Like we were never, I was saying, so we were never number one really in any category. But we kept going along. Everyone who was number one, these people that we were supposedly chasing,
Yeah.
it's like they're just not around anymore.
Well, there was a Google Trends like graph I saw the other day that somebody posted, maybe on Reddit, that was like all of these social media platforms over the years and their curve, you know,
Yeah.
and their peak really, and like you know, MySpace was in there, and like all of them were in there, and it's just like where they hit, you know, their apex in Google Trends and then went back down. And I think we were fortunate because we came around the time where Friendster and MySpace had both like, you know, become huge overnight, and then they went away.
Yeah.
And we always felt, I think, like, let's not just go for that shiny thing, you know, let's not try to turn ourselves into something we're not. If we can stay in a path of like steady growth and, you know, doing the things that we want to do. And
Doing the things you want to do is a big deal.
yeah, and not trying to be somebody that we're not, you know, then steady growth is great, you know? That's what everybody should aspire to, not, you know, let's be an overnight sensation, and if we flame out, oh well, we had
Right.
the moment in the sun. Like I like doing this. I want to keep doing it. I don't want to flame out. So,
What about Flame On?
flame on.
Isn't that from that character in Fantastic Four? Yeah.
Right.
Nailed it, Barb.
HelloFresh.
I'm waiting to see how this all comes together with the Will Wheaton angle, and
So here's what you
you're
do.
gonna make this into
We're
a
going to
whole
have to pay
thing.
Will Wheaton if we
You
mention him anymore.
You wash your face, you put in your audiobook, and then you cook yourself a meal.
There you go.
With HelloFresh. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by HelloFresh. We've teamed up with HelloFresh, and they are offering everyone in our audience $30 off your first week of deliveries when you go to HelloFresh.com and use the code OPEN30.
Open 30.
OPEN30. Mariel and I, this lovely lady, absolutely love HelloFresh. It's delivered right to your door in an insulated, recyclable package.
That's important.
It is. And saying recyclable is very challenging. But it's not hard to recycle, as I've learned. You won't spend all night in the kitchen because recipes only take around 30 minutes each. Lots of one-pot recipes for seriously speedy cooking. Speedy cooking.
Speedy cookies.
Speedy cooking and minimal cleanup. Each box is made up of fresh, responsibly obtained ingredients from carefully selected farms and high-rated, trusted sources. We both love the meals HelloFresh has sent us. Meryl, you recently cooked something with HelloFresh.
I did. I love HelloFresh. They've been sending us a lot of great things. So I've been watching a lot of Chopped lately. And so one of their things is like you can cook quickly. So I'll set my Alexa timer and then time myself and then act like I'm on Chopped. So I'm like, Alexa, how much time's left? But balsamic onion burgers. They sent out.
Yes, I had those too.
Delicious. So good. Big fan of mayonnaise, big fan of garlic. Mix them together, make a garlic aioli.
I made those with Trevor and he thought it said onion burgers. And he was just like, onion burgers?
Just wait, just
You
like- just
have
the
like an
onion?
onion on a bun?
What did you say? I thought it was balsamic.
I went, yep. Just onion burgers. No, but they're really good.
They're delicious.
HelloFresh makes it so easy to cook delicious, balanced, filling dinners for less than $10 a meal and free shipping. You could look forward to your weekly HelloFresh box delivery knowing dinner just got easier, and you can enjoy not having to plan dinner, spend money on takeout, or worry about gathering all the ingredients. Go to HelloFresh.com and use the code OPEN30 to get $30 off your first week of deliveries. That's HelloFresh.com and use the code OPEN30. All right, well, we got one more question. We could either do this question or a box of issues and save one for the post show.
Listen, you are the host. I trust you implicitly.
Whatever you feel.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Oh, it sounds like the boy. Sounds like it's.
Let's do the boy. So we're going to save the when you were 15, where did you think your life would take you for the post show? So if you are a first member, tune into that to hear what these guys have to say about that question.
Spoiler, I was going to be an orthodontist.
There you go.
That was my career path.
You just lost people who were going to sign up for first membership.
Well, I'll
to find
explain
out.
why and the trajectory of why that didn't happen. Or maybe I am an orthodontist.
Hence Rooster Teeth. It's all coming together.
Rooster
This
Teeth
is the
just,
15-year point.
It's just a front.
Well, it was
just a front
listed
for his.
as a dentist on Google Maps for a while, wasn't it?
It was.
The old
Yeah.
location?
It was.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a question from user Mason M. Mason M? Not as catchy. And Mason writes, "Hi everybody, big fan of the
Hi,
show.
Mason. Oh, sorry.
I'm about to get my master's degree in education. I've been working on this for years, and I am finally going to graduate and become a full-fledged history teacher. However, I don't know if this is really what I want to do with my life anymore. I do have a passion for history and for sharing stories, but I don't know if teaching is what I necessarily want to do for a living. Was there ever a point where you thought that you were headed down the wrong career path or that you were wasting your time and potential?" I think everyone goes through this.
I think everyone goes through it. I think you're exactly
I think everyone
right.
should go through it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going through it, I think you're gonna hit a wall at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's better to have it sooner than later is what I'm saying. Because yeah, I think everybody goes through it.
Well, you, I know, did a completely different degree, right? At first, you were in medicine?
Medicine, yeah. It was pre-med. It was first, a kid wanted to be an orthodontist. Then I went to pre-med at UT, and I switched to computer science in my senior year. And that was a huge conversation with my parents, because I didn't want to go into medicine. And I chose it because they make you make these decisions when you're 16 to 18 and to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. And to me, it was just like, I identified as being a smart kid in high school. That was my identity. And medicine was a smart person's career.
Yeah.
So that's literally why I chose it. I thought I'm supposed to be a doctor because that's the best career.
It's also what anyone's parents want for them,
Right.
True.
Well,
Yeah.
especially Jewish parents. You're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. Nothing else will do. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think, teaching is a hard profession, first of all. I've had friends who were, teachers and, dropped out of it to do something else. One went into beating kids. So, no, I'm just kidding. But no, teaching
Beating kids in chess.
No, but I think if you're not asking questions about yourself and what you want to do and who you want to be, that never stops changing. It's not like, society is built around the idea, at least now, that, you go to school, you come out of school, and then you have your life set.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's not realistic.
Yeah.
Who can live that way? That doesn't even make any sense. You're always going to grow and develop and want to try new things, and you discover new things as you go along, hopefully, and that's going to lead you to do other stuff. So I don't think anybody should feel bad about, exploring what you want your life's purpose and true ambition to be. That's a good thing.
I don't think there's anything wrong with changing your mind.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever too late. Like, yes, you could maybe see it as a lot of wasted time and money and energy on something, but ultimately you want to be happy and like what you're doing.
It's better to change your mind than live in indecision.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or fool
That's-
yourself into something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or settle for
Yeah, or
something you're
settle.
not happy
Yeah.
doing.
Absolutely.
So, but also, some people are just very indecisive their whole life.
Yeah.
And sometimes if, you're happy doing something and could see yourself doing that for a while, you
think-
could go with it.
Right.
Everybody who started Rooster Teeth could have said, we all have good jobs. Let's just stick with this because this is the career path we're in.
Yeah.
But we all made a conscious choice of, this seems exciting, this seems like something new, this is something we want to try, and test ourselves and find what it is that really is important to us and
Yeah.
what matters, And I, for one, am glad we did that.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, was there ever a time during, especially the early years, where you guys thought this is not going to work out, or I'm not enjoying this, or we made a mistake going down this path?
There were times that were harder than others,
Yeah, there were
for sure.
definitely times that were harder. I think it's so much of entertainment is like project based,
Yeah.
and especially like we very clearly set out to make a second show as fast as we could, and when we made The Strangerhood, we tried to see if we could catch lightning in the bottle with the same format, and that didn't work. And that would have been an easy thing to go, oh shit, let's just keep focusing on this one thing, red versus blue, and nothing else.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that. We just kept trying different stuff, and then we found even like other Machinima series that did well. And then, down the road, podcasts, let's play stuff, just started building from there. So
Yeah.
we didn't let our failures define us.
Well, they say you learn more from your failures than your successes.
What'd you learn from The Strangerhood, Matt?
I think that
Whoa,
I think that you nailed it. Where it's just like, it's not necessarily the format. It's the creative and the quality and what you do, and just being, into that project.
Yeah.
And I think we came out of that probably thinking like, we maybe selected the game more than we did the project.
Right.
And I don't think that we've.
We wanted to make it work.
Yeah, and I don't think we've done anything like that since, really.
Yeah.
So
Well, what did-
hopefully we did learn
We started with
something
big
from.
bets.
What did you study in college? Was it
I was in radio, TV, film,
Okay.
and then I went to LA after school and was doing that, and probably
Every day after school? That was a lot of travel.
It was a weird kind of away from home program, but I probably would have stayed doing that if not for Burnie having this like unbelievable concept and got off to the races.
It was okay.
Mensa. So I was gonna say too, the thing about wanting to change and try something new, and eventually it's like, oh, I should have figured this out by now. You never figure it out.
Yeah.
You really never do. And there's a thing in entertainment that we deal with, even in this company, and I think we talk to each other through some issues, like being in front of an audience and things like that. But there's a big thing called imposter syndrome, where people feel like someone's gonna figure out you shouldn't be here and get out of here, and like you're just like posing, and everyone else knows what they're doing.
I have that literally every day.
Yeah, it's like you have that as an adult.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where you're I'm in a normal adult situation. I'm thinking, these are all adults around me, and they're like, they got all this stuff figured out.
An expert in this field.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Or even like parenting stuff and things like that. It's like just like or dinner parties. It's like you can't ever escape the feeling that you're still figuring stuff out. But everybody's in that same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have confidence in the things you do well, but you're supposed to still figure things out.
He also is just graduating, so you haven't even experienced
Right.
this profession really to its fullest yet.
Right.
And it might be something that you really, really love. So, I mean,
Or there might be some piece of it that's unexplored that could be the thing that
yeah.
is really satisfying for you.
But again, I don't think there's anything wrong with changing your mind, no matter how old or how far into something you are.
Yeah.
Pay off some student loans first.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Figure it out.
Make some money.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, have you ever been in going down a path that you kind of...
I mean, yeah, I was, I kind of similar to Burnie. I was a pre-med major at UT and wanted to go that route because I thought that that's what I should do because I had the inflation, like, growing up in a small town and was like a GT kid and like graduated top of my class in high school and was like, I'm the smart kid, I gotta go and do this.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because when I got to college and finally realized that I wanted to do TV and film, I had my heart set on being a page at NBC. And I was like, that's what I need to do. Like, that's where I'm gonna go, and like, I won't take anything else. And so I actually, I went and I did the interviews. I had my final interview at 30 Rock and then got rejected, and it was like the worst thing to ever happen to me. And I was just like, there's no point in even trying.
Everything.
Yeah, I was like, there's no point in even trying this if I can't make it here, and what I think is like the pinnacle of what I should be doing right now. And then I, at the same time, was interning here and made my career path through this way, and it was never like, I never even thought about it until years later, and I was like, oh shit, of course I made the right decision. Like, thank God that happened. I can't imagine like being in New York right now and like living on the streets eating rats.
That's what our friend Andrew was doing, right?
Yes,
He just moved to New York.
100%. That's what he's doing.
Getting close is hard, though.
Yeah, no, and it was literally like
There's
at
not a
30
lot that
Rock.
could discourage you more than that.
Yeah.
Or you're so close to
It
something
is
that you don't
really
expect.
hard. But then it's like you got to that level for a reason,
True.
I was like, when the lottery got passed in Texas, my family was really excited about the lottery, and everybody was. And I remember they used to, I don't know if they still do because I don't pay attention to it anymore, but they used to print this thing of saying last week, one person won $6 million, and then here's people that matched three, and they won $3 million, I'm sorry, $3, because they matched three numbers, and there was like 100,000 or 150,000 of those people. And I always obsessed, even as a kid, of looking at the people who matched 5 numbers instead of 6.
Oh.
And that was like 1,000 people every week. And I thought, what would it be like to match 5 out of 6 numbers in the lottery and know that, and they won like 10 grand, but to know if I just picked this other number, I would have $6 million or something like that.
Yeah.
And you would obsess over that number. And those are 1,000 people every single week that have that. So it's like, getting that close, that can be super hard.
Think about that when I play HQ every week.
Yep.
Could have won my $6.75.
What was it? There's someone that won like $22,000?
It was something that there was like a huge pot. Yeah, but I'm not that smart, so I wouldn't have gotten it. All right, well, good luck, Mason.
Yes.
Hope everything goes well. If you have questions for us on the show, you could email us as usual at alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. We look forward to hearing from you. If you have a shot for us, questions for our box of issues, or if you just want to give us a little, you do that too.
An email.
An email. Yeah, email form.
Yeah. Okay.
Matt, Burnie, and Meryl, of course.
Me.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
guys.
having me.
Yeah.
Pleasure, guys.
was
Congrats on
lovely.
15 years.
I can't
Congrats.
cheers now because this is water. At least it was ginger ale before.
Okay.
But
Well,
I'm not
you'll just
cheers
look at
before.
us.
I just stare at everyone.
Let's just look at us.
Congrats.
We'll drink in your honor.